Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at multiplication and division problems. This is 4.4H Readiness Practice, the intermediate version. If you are interested in exploring the proficient or advanced versions of 4.4H, or for looking at Readiness Practice resources aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So for our first problem, we've got some crayons, and I'm going to draw a strip diagram here to kind of represent the operations that we need to worry about. So there are 3 boxes of crayons. And so I'm just going to make a kind of a long rectangle here. And I'm just going to split it into 3 parts. Each box has 8 crayons. All right, so I've got 3 sets of 8. And so if I need to, right, I could go ahead and total that as 3 times 8. That's going to be 24. All right, that's pretty easy. And then if 12 students each get the same number of crayons, how many crayons will each student get? Well, now that I know that I've got 24 crayons, because that's 3 sets of 8, I need to divide that into 12 equal pieces. All right, so this is what this strip diagram would look like. So I'm going to draw another bar underneath, and I'm going to break this into 12 equal parts. So what I want to do is I want to cut it in half. I want to cut each half into third. So I've got sixths, and then cut each sixth in half, and that's going to give me 12 equal parts. Now, I'm going to put a question mark into each one because what I'm trying to figure out is if I take 24 and split it into 12 equal parts, how many goes into each? And so really what we did, if we wanted to put it all together in one equation, was we did 8 times 3, or 3 times 8, 3 groups of 8, and then we're going to divide it by 12. And so 24 divided by 12, that's going to make 2, right? So let's put that in green. We will just say 2, my question mark equals 2. And I'll go ahead and write that in a sentence. Each student gets 2 crayons. So we have a strip diagram and an equation here to help figure out how to move between these operations, multiplication and divisions. And sometimes you're going to have to multiply then divide. Sometimes you divide then multiply. Sometimes you multiply twice, or sometimes you even divide twice. And so the strip diagrams, if you can represent it like that, are going to help you figure out which operation to use when. All right, for our second problem, we got Emma baking cookies, 6 trays of cookies with 8 cookies on each tray. So we have equal groups here. So whenever we see each and they're talking to us about equal groups, that means we're going to either multiply or divide. So I can do that same thing. Let's draw a bar here. It's going to be my first strip in my strip diagram. And I want 6 trays. So I'm going to cut it in half, and then cut each half into thirds. So I've got 6 equals, so I've got 8 on each. So I'll get 6 groups of 8. All right, so I know that multiplication fact, that's 6 times 8. 6 times 8, I'll write it like this, equals 48. All right, now she wants to pack the cookies into bags. The bags can hold up to 5 cookies each. How many bags does she need? Okay, so what I want to do here is I'm going to draw a little box like this, and I'm going to put a 5 in there. And then I'm going to end up drawing an arrow with a question mark here because I don't know how many 5s I need to fit my 48. And 5 doesn't go into 48 evenly, so here's what we need to think about. Okay, we need to think about 9 times 5 gets me 45. That's 3 short. 10 times 5 gets me 50. Now, it never said that each bag has to be completely full, so in this point we're dealing with the remainder. Okay, so 9 times 5 is 45 with 3 remaining. And we need all the cookies to be packed up. Therefore, I am going to need that extra bag. That extra bag is only going to have 3 cookies instead of 5, but there's nothing wrong with that. So in order to pack all of the cookies, she needs, let's go ahead and put that in there, she needs 10 bags. And we just know that that 10th bag is not going to be completely full, which is fine. For our third problem, we got Xavier. He's designing 6 different versions of the flyer and a total of 330 flyers altogether, he made the same number of each type. So once again, we've got our equal groups. Now, they give us the total. In the last two problems, we had to figure out that first total by multiplying. But now they give us the total, so I'm going to draw it like this. I'm going to say 330, like this. That's my first total. There's 6 different versions, and each version has the same number, so we can put those into equal groups, which means we can divide. So let's go ahead and first do that, because I have to do something else to distribute into boxes later. So I need to figure out what 6 into 330 is, and that's not a basic fact, so I need to use log division here. So 6 goes into 33 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. That's going to get 3. All right, so that's going to get 55. All right, nice and even. So I'm going to put 55 in each of these boxes. So 6 sets of 55 get me 330. So that's that first step. Now, to distribute them, I'm going to put, or he's going to put 5 copies of each version into a box. How many boxes? Okay, so we're going to kind of visualize this like we did it last time. All right, so we need 5 copies of each version into a box. But what we want here is we want this 5 to kind of represent how many 5s go into not 330, but into the 55. Okay, because we're looking at per version. Okay, so we're going to put 5 copies of each version into a box. And so we're going to put 5 copies of the first version, the second version, the third version, the fourth version. So really what we're going to do now is we're going to take our 55 and we're going to divide it by 5. That's a basic fact. And so we've got 11. So we can say he filled 11 boxes. If you are interested in exploring the Readiness Practice Resource 4.4H for the Proficient or Advanced version, or for exploring readiness practice resources aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.